Travel Itinerary and the North American Migration. Did you know that monarchs are native to Mexico? That's where they originated. And because of that, they're tropical bugs. Basically, they don't like cold weather. Monarchs on the North American continent cluster together through the winter months, like you see here on this slide. They gather in these groups in Mexico and also in Southern California, and as far as we know, they've been doing this for a really long time. When the spring equinox kicks in, they know that the temperatures are warming up, and they decide they're going to go on a journey and spread across the North American continent. Multiple generations make the northbound journey, so one single butterfly doesn't fly from Mexico to Canada. They do it in generations. So let's say the first butterfly maybe makes it to Texas, the next one maybe gets to Chicago, after that one gets to Minnesota, but they do it in stages. It's not one little critter doing that whole flight. On their journey northward, they're looking for one thing, their alluring elixir. It's the key to their survival, and it's the most important thing to monarch butterflies. These millions of butterflies that are flying north from their wintering grounds are basically trying to find a mate and start a family. That's the most important thing to them because they want to continue their species. The monarch butterflies that come out of their winter diapause, or hibernation, live for about 4 to 5 weeks as butterflies. So they have to find a mate and find their elixir to start a family in that 4 to 5 weeks. Time's short and they're on a schedule. For the next 6 months, the butterflies spread across the continental United States. It's said that every state has at least one monarch in it throughout the year. But some states definitely have higher populations than others. Near the fall equinox, the butterflies start realizing that the days are shortening and uh-oh, that means winter's coming. They've got to do something about it or they're going to freeze their little wings off. This is where things get interesting. The last generation, the one that has emerged in the fall, they live longer than the 4 to 5 weeks that their recent ancestors lived. That's because that last generation has to skip town and they have a different agenda than their most recent parents and grandparents. The final generation has a long journey ahead of them. They have a one-way trip south. They don't mate and try to start a family the way the other ones did. The fall generation decides that they're going to postpone family planning until after the winter months. That's why they live longer, because they have to live through fall all the way until the next spring. They decide to postpone the family because they know that flying long distances with kids is not easy. Instead, this final generation stores up energy in the form of flower juice. They drink nectar, which is sugar water, and they beef up a little bit because they're going to need lots of energy to make this journey. A single butterfly makes the southbound trek from as far north as Canada all the way down to Mexico. West of the Rocky Mountains, monarchs spend their winters in Southern California. I'm here in Monterey in Southern California at a monarch overwintering site. The docent says there are about 7,000 monarchs here today. They're not very active because it's pretty cold out here, but anyway, this is where they're spending their winter. Here's one reason this course is important. You might have heard the migrating populations of monarchs in North America are in decline. Together, we're hoping we can help find a solution for this. Some combination of habitat loss, herbicides, pollution, climate change, and development has contributed to these declining populations. It's hard to pinpoint a single problem, but we know that none of these things are great for butterflies. What can you do to help? Well, if you live in the range of monarchs, they might just be coming through your neighborhood. You have a much better chance of seeing a monarch butterfly, a Danis plexippus, if you live in North America, North Africa, Australia, or Europe. Oh, one other thing I should tell you. Did you know that not all monarchs migrate? So for instance, in my garden in southern Florida, the butterflies don't leave town. For one, they don't have passports, but secondly, they realize that in South Florida, it's really warm. We don't get freezing temperatures. I have butterflies in my garden, monarchs, year round. They never leave, and it's pretty amazing. If you are geographically located in the range of the monarch butterflies, you should invite them over for a drink. They might take you up on the offer. One of the things they like to drink from is wildflowers, or any other nectar-producing flower is beneficial for them. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next lesson.